What more could be done to improve Indigenous relations in Canada?
Attention primarily on schools, and schooling on the reservations, and on the large number of communities outside reservations which have a substantial Aboriginal population. I think that's key. That's number one. A number of other symbolic things. I've always thought the encouragement of Aboriginal languages is a very positive thing to do. Connects young people to their elders, often skipping a generation which lost the language, and assures it's a symbol of recognition of their value as societies.
I think the biggest thing I'm always concerned about is the clean drinking water. Like they go and they live in their house, they can't drink the water. I have customers right now that can't sell their house and can't buy a house in the reserve because they can't get clean drinking water.
I think we need to have more representation by their people, by the Indigenous people. I mean, we have a very tiny heritage, from the settlers, and I feel very passionate that they've been neglected and that they need to be listened to.
And maybe focusing on some of the more positive aspects and the richness of the different cultures, the different languages. I think if we get exposed to that, like the sense of brotherhood and friendship can develop from there.
I guess so many things, but I think a lot of economic development, both for the Indigenous people who are in cities and the ones who are still on reserves, like clean water for one, and certainly I would think like in a place like Ottawa, jobs, more social services, more housing.
I think it would be great if the government of Canada could get the Pope in Rome to come to Canada and apologize for their role in perpetuating those atrocities. I think that's part of the answer.
First of all, if Trudeau would have maybe came in and held one of his promises to the Indigenous people, this just goes to show you, like with the vaccine passports, how long in Canada are we going to create more division and separate societies, right? Like the Indigenous people were never fully accepted into the Canadian society, and they've always been held out on the outside. They're still Canadians as much as every other one of us Canadians are, and they should be treated with that respect.
Well, I did grow up near a reserve, and I had a lot of Indigenous friends growing up, and I think that one thing that we could do that we could better relations is just have like conversations with them. Like instead of people assuming that's what they want or that's what Indigenous people want, I think we need to talk directly to them and see what they are thinking, what they want.
With their promise regarding the drinking water for our native population, for the northern communities, and not only the northern communities. I mean, there are places in Canada where people have to boil water, and I think in 2021 that's kind of ridiculous, because I know it's a big job to do that, to try and fix the water issue we have, but we spend billions of dollars on other things, and I think for me basic human right includes having fresh, clean drinking water.
There is a barrier, and one of the things that is needed is social intervention. There needs to be social cohesion where persons understand either side of the fence, persons meet, train, work together, and seek to build that bond and that relationship. So rather than just giving me fish, teach me and help me to fish, and let us fish together.
It's all about what we could do as a Canadian to improve the Indigenous relation in Canada is about tolerance and understanding. Education is the most important thing for us in Canada, especially if you don't know the history, if you don't know about other people. Okay, when you start to know people and talk to them and know the history through education and our school system, we could make the relation better.
I've been told lies when I was in elementary school and high school, and it's only by talking and doing my own research that I found out the true history of Canada. So if it can be reviewed so that it includes the truth, I think we'll be getting closer to having a complete understanding of the current situation when it comes to the First Nations.
Communication. Communication is the biggest key that we are lacking in regards to reconciliation from coast to coast. Communication, understanding, empathy.